Assalamualaikum guys, this is Malay Gaming Channel, and this will be the first time I'm doing a video update about this channel. There's new things I'm going to share with you guys. So firstly, there will be two new types of contents for this channel. First one is Malay game review, which is basically me doing video game reviews of the game I've recently played on my PC. And the second new content will be Let's Talk About Game. So we'll come up with a video covering certain topics about any games, such as best action games, worst game sequels, and etc. You get the point. If you have watched mojo.com, it's a little bit something like that. Zul told me the upcoming video he'll cover is the games that should have sequels. You're gonna have to wait for it, maybe next week. Okay, now let's get to the meat of this vlog. Since I'm making game reviews, so there's going to be a scoring system where I'll rate every game I'll be reviewing in the future. Normally people will rate games like 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10, or sometimes percentage score, 70%, 80%, no? If you're familiar with IGN score, they use a decimal point, something like that. But the max score is 10. But as for me, I'm gonna do a different kind of style. Basically, I'm also gonna use 10 out of 10 scoring system, but there's a breakdown. I'm breaking it down into 5 major categories. The first one is gameplay design. Second, art style / graphics. Third, sound effects and music. This is same thing, sound effects and music. Fourth, game length. Replayability value doesn't count in this category, so game length is stand on its own. The last one is the story. Every good game has a story to this standard. The old games doesn't count, of course, obviously. So each of these categories carries 2 points maximum, max, meaning the maximum score would be 10. Pretty simple. You just have to add the score from categories to categories. So now let's talk more detail about this category. Number 1, gameplay design or game mechanics. So if the game level is well designed, not very repetitive, the game mechanics is deep and intuitive with high replayability value, it gets 2 points. And if it's slightly above average, it gets only 1 point. If the game is boring, glitchy, broken, it gets no point at all. Simple. Okay, the second one is art style and graphics. Now let's be clear, a great game doesn't mean it must have a high-end graphics. What's important is the art direction. The game can have pixel art style, but as long as it looks beautiful for the gamers to look, it's okay, it works. For example, old games like Super Mario World on the SNES still looks relevant and pretty on this day. At the same time, you can have new games with better graphics, but it can look ugly if the animation is bad or the models look awkward and weird, including the textures they use. The next one, number 3, sound effects and music. So this one I'm split it into 2, 1 point for the sound effects and 1 point for the music. If both of them is good, it gets 2 points. Simple. I should mention that not many game developers can nail the music part. It's not easy to have great sound effect. It's not easy to have great soundtrack. If it's average, I won't give a point. My best example of having great soundtrack is Hotline Miami 2 or Guilty Gear series. If you're a PS2 fanboy, you know this game, and the soundtrack is kicking ass. Now, the next category, number 4, will be game length. Now this doesn't count if you replay the games. You can have great game with awesome graphics and music, but if the game is short, less than 4 hours, it sucks. And you feel cheated. You pay a lot of tons of money, but the game finished so quickly. Best example is games like Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. I'm pretty sure you guys heard of it if you're a gamer. If the game has multiplayer, I'm sorry, let's get back to the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. The game is great, but it is so short and it doesn't worth more than $20. It should be less than that. Okay, that's the problem if it has so short gameplay length. Okay, now if the game has multiplayer, it automatically secure 1 point, because we all know your people who wants to play multiplayer will play it for hours and hours and get your money worth out of it. So is 1 point secure in this category automatically. Now the final point, the final category, story. Now this is important in today's standard. You need to have a good story to attract you to get the game. It goes without saying that today game standard requires to have a good story gameplay regardless how long the story is. If the story writing is good, compelling and gripping, it deserves 2 points, like God of War and Metal Gear Solid 4. Yes, and what else? Onimusha, if you have heard it before. Okay, if the story is full of cliches but somewhat acceptable, it gets 1 point. Like most of the Call of Duty games, Battlefield games, no, it's okay. The story is okay, but entertaining as well. But if there's no story, or simply it has bad writing, it gets no point at all. I don't think there's an example that come across to my mind, but there is. I know this is a bad game, bad story in games. So okay, that's my scoring system, but I will add a final remark every rating I give to the game. For example, like it's a must play game, it's a must own game. Maybe it's like you must play it once at least, you try it, because sometimes you have games that has awesome story, good story that you need to experience at least once, or sometimes you have games that have a unique game mechanics that you need to try, but it has flaws in other categories. So I will give like a special remark on every game reviews. So I guess that's all, and this is my first time doing a vlog. Give it a thumbs up and wait for the next 2 new contents. See you guys next time. Assalamualaikum.